A humorous list has been making its way around the internet in recent years. It takes on various forms, is attributed to everyone from Ann Landers to Mark Twain, and seems to morph as it becomes ever more viral. It makes us laugh even while making us aware of a problem we face in America. This list is comprised of answers people have given to Bible questions. We learn from it, for example, that the epistles were the wives of the apostles. Apparently the Finkelsteins, not the Philistines, were a race of people who lived in biblical times. Lot's wife was a pillar of salt by day, but she could be a ball of fire at night. She may have been similar to Mary, who gave birth to Jesus because she had an immaculate contraption. The fifth commandment, we discover, is, "Thou shalt humor thy father and thy mother." The seventh is, "Thou shalt not admit adultery." This may be necessary because the Apostle Paul preached acrimony, another word for marriage, all of which explains why a Christian should have only one wife, a practice called monotony. The poor Jews had problems throughout their history, not with troublesome Gentiles, but with unsympathetic genitals. This might have been related to the fact that Joshua led them in the Battle of Jericho. They would have been better off had they lived in the time of Noah, because his wife was Joan of Arc. In modern times, the Pope lives not in the Vatican, but in the vacuum. Iran is the Bible of the Muslims, much as Republicans are a race of sinners mentioned in the Bible. Some people have a hard time hearing in church because the agnostics are bad. This makes it difficult for them to pray the Lord's Prayer, which begins, "Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name." Now, if you've missed this list of insightful answers to Bible questions, don't despair. You can go on YouTube and watch Jay Leno ask Bible questions of people on the streets of New York. He called this, of course, jaywalking. The experience was a revelation of biblical proportions. On New York's Melrose Avenue, Leno learned that Adam and Eve lived in the Garden of Eden with their child Candy Cane. This was possible because God made Eve by opening an apple, or maybe a cow. Things moved quickly, though, because not too long after this, Joseph's father gave him not a coat of many colors, but a new car. Before long, a whale swallowed the prophet Pinocchio. This was around the time another whale swallowed Moby Dick. When Jesus was born, he was visited by 3 wise men. Their names were Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria. They brought the baby Jesus gifts, wine and a cheese platter. Perhaps this was why he taught, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall eat." Jesus lived fairly recently, perhaps just 400 years ago, which means he lived around the time of Columbus. He might have lived 250 years ago, just before the American Revolution. Jesus was a rabbi. Rabbis are Jewish. We can be sure of this because there was one on the TV show Friends. He was planning to baptize a baby. We laugh, and we should. Religious knowledge can be confusing with its odd names, foreign words, and easily conflated ideas. It is good to enjoy our foibles and our follies. It helps the medicine go down. Yet what if this fun level of confusion is where most Americans live all their lives? What if our entire nation lags far behind in the religious knowledge required to contend with the many cultures of the world? What if we do not even understand the religions in our own land? How will we fulfill the Founding Fathers' hope that the people of this nation will evaluate the religions of their candidates? In addition, what if this level of uncertainty and misunderstanding plagues our country's leaders? What if, out of ignorance, they ignore the importance of religion in world affairs, as they plan a war, as they negotiate a treaty, as they interact with the leaders of other nations? There is no end to the hand-wringing and head-wagging that has occurred in recent years over American ignorance of religion. It has become a cottage industry. There is much to make us concerned. Even scholars cite Jay Leno's discovery that everyone he talked to in one of his walks could name the 4 Beatles, but none could name the 4 Gospels. More scientific surveys reveal that 60% of Americans can't even name 5 of the 10 Commandments, and 50% of high school seniors think Sodom and Gomorrah were married. Most Americans are unable to name the first book of the Bible. Even the teachings of our own denominations elude us. Most Lutherans don't know who Martin Luther was. Most Methodists can't name a distinctive doctrine of their denomination's founder, John Wesley. Matters like these are primarily of concern to Christians, yet all Americans, regardless of their faith, should be concerned about what we do not know about the religions of the world.